Hello there! Doom Eternal is a broken game. My name is Rytro. I'm a speedrunner and a moderator for the Doom Eternal leaderboard. Looking at the leaderboard, there are 3 rule sets at the top. But why the heck are they there? What the heck are unrestricted, limited, and restricted? What the heck is a special fish? This video plans to answer all that. In general, these 3 rule sets govern how many glitches are allowed in the run. Restricted allowing the least amount of glitches, unrestricted allowing everything except cheating, hacking the game. This video is meant to go over all the glitches that define these rule sets, so that everyone understands what is and isn't allowed, as well as to justify the over the 1,000 hours I have in this game. I know what you're thinking. Why is there not a glitchless category? The answer is quite simple. Fundamental aspects of Doom Eternal do not behave as intended. If you play through the game casually, it's really easy to accidentally do what people consider glitches. So, before we go over the glitches that define the rule sets, let's talk about tricks that are glitchy that are allowed in every speedrun.
But before we get to that, a message from our sponsor.
There is no sponsor. Ballista Boosting is the least glitchy thing that people could possibly argue for. Ballista has this neat mechanic where if you fire it, its recoil physically pushes the character model backwards. Small oversight, intended for you not being able to push into the enemy, is abused to gain speed. All you have to do is fire the ballista, turn around, and wow! Suddenly, the backward speed it gave you is now forward speed through the process of angles. Congrats! You're going fast now. Dash boosts happen when you dash into a slope surface and get launched into the air. This has to deal with the interaction with the Slayer and the wall, where you conserve your momentum from the dash, and the slope surface redirects the momentum upwards. There's several variations of dash boost, which I'll go over very briefly here. Every ledge in this game has a slope surface right at the end of it, so you take a couple steps off the ledge. Congratulations, you're on a slope, you can dash boost. This is a similar principle to regular dash boost, but instead of a slope, it's a wall, and it sends you forward. Closer you hit the wall to a 45-degree angle, the more speed you'll get out of it. If you do this ideally, you get about as much speed as a ballista boost. The meat hook is probably the most broken thing in this game. It can make it go pretty fast. This game is hard-coded to where your meat hook gives you speed each frame you are on the hook. So, if you slow down time with the weapon wheel perhaps, you're on the hook for more frames, and thus you gain more speed, allowing you to turn enemies into slingshot mechanisms. This can be combined with hitting a slope surface to transfer all of this speed into height, and is actually one of the best ways to skip all of a level in a lot of cases. This would be absolutely broken if we didn't keep it in check by our definition of out of bounds. More on that later. B-hops are when you jump right when you hit the ground, allowing you to conserve your speed and keep speed built up from previous tricks. It's actually quite hard to do this manually when hitting the jump button with the spacebar or the A or whatever controllers use. So speedrunners typically bind their jump to scroll wheel, making it easier to spam jump inputs right when they hit the ground. This game, it's not letting me bind it to the scroll wheel. Let's come clear, we're all filthy cheaters. To do this, you literally have to type a commands into the command prompt. Isn't that cheating? I mean, we're literally entering a line of game's code to make it not behave normally, to where you can't do this, anywhere else. And well, yeah, we kinda are. However, this is allowed by the community because it literally only changes the bind and nothing else. As well, it just makes the run way more interesting. I mean, what good is all this movement and speed tech and whatnot if we have no way to conserve it? And this is just a very easy way to conserve all our momentum. So, kind of for the sake of a good run, we allow it. Pause boosting is done with the Ballista, and we aren't entirely certain how it works, but it works! In order to do it, you have to charge up Arbalest, fire it, immediately pause the game, open the weapon menu, equip the other Ballista mod, enter back into the game, pause again, and keep swapping Ballista mods in the same fashion. This causes a Ballista shot to be fired each time you exit the menu, stacking Ballista boosts. So, yeah, this has glitch written all over it. And you are also allowed to gain insane height from it. So, why is this allowed in every category? Well, it's cool. And it's also not useful in practice. For perspective, there are 2 spots across of all the base campaign, Tag 1, Tag 2, where this trick is useful. 2. It just so happens that Yeet-Hooking into something or using a dash boost is just always faster and easier to do. And also, you save Ballista ammo for Ballista boosting. Punch boosting is an exploit of the melee mechanic. If you're trying to melee something but are too far away, the game pushes you in the direction of the enemy or punchable surface. However, if your path is blocked by a corner or something else, you keep that speed and can use it to neume. Congratulations! Doing anything after this point in the video will bump you from a restricted run into a limited run. So, what is an oob? Well, Doom Eternal doesn't have a nice answer for this question. Unlike 2016, where levels were typically covered by walls and interiors, Out of Bound's pretty obvious. However, Doom Eternal's level design is really open in a lot of levels, causing this to be a tricky subject. So, the baseline of what's out of bounds is this. We want a definition that doesn't allow runners to skip the whole level while having some objective measurements for if a designated trick is out of bounds. This, of course, is not perfect, leads to a couple big skips in the run, but it's close enough to have a fun run to where you primarily traverse id-tended areas. Going over collisions, such as invisible walls and collision meant to stop the player from traversing, is out of bounds. That being said, if an invisible wall despawns, it's fair game to go over. The logic is that the area is traversable at some point, so you should be able to traverse it at any time. All the wall does is say, not yet, so we allow ourselves to yeet over most of these things. Even with all these rules, Doom Eternal still finds ways to make these tricky. There's a whole list of exceptions to these, to which you can find linked below. That I don't want to explain in this video, because Christmas is in a year, and I kinda don't want to miss that. There are walls everywhere in Doom Eternal, and there are also plenty of ways of going through them. Most prevalent case here is animation clipping. Doom Guy gets teleported next to a demon when he goes in for a glory kill or a chainsaw. Situations like this, like getting demons into a corner, or chainsawing when attaching to a monkey bar or manslaying, can lead you to clip through collision. This can cut out major segments of the level. Alright, we're about to get into the big boys. So yeah, if you do any of these glitches, congratulations, you're running unrestricted now. If you use the weapon wheel when jumping on a barrel will wiggle in between the player and the ground, and each time it touches the player can use the barrel as a surface to jump off of, and the speed from every single jump can stack. As you can imagine, getting a bunch of speed from jumping multiple times, this can cause the player to get enormous height, and allow them basically skip major parts of the level. If you want to complete UN for free, boy do I have the trick for you. During a reward screen pickup when playing the DLCs, if you pause the game during this cutscene, you will be unable to take damage until you reload checkpoint. It's just that easy. This could be done on PC by alt-tabbing out of the game, and on console when you exit the home menu, or whatever the heck console does. This trick can literally trivialize every encounter. I mean, you don't take damage. So, yeah, that's why it's here. Infinite Crucible is a glitch that lets you use Crucible as much as you want. This is a consequence of silent mod swap tech, to where you can swap mods without seeing the information. If you press the swap mod button, swap to Crucible, swap mod button, and then bam.
You'll be able to swing wildly at everything until you reload checkpoint.
This isn't allowed for the potential abuse it has to trivialize a lot of combat encounters with just one-shotting everything. Special Fish is a glitch state where the game considers you to be between states of motion, the mantling and the swimming state. This requires a precise setup to where you dash at a manageable surface while underwater, and you're in the Special Fish state. You can float upwards, interacting with no collision. This trick is basically viable in UAC Atlantica, to where you can skip the final combat section, but it's disallowed everywhere just in case we find a different area where we can use it. Fun fact, if you reduce your FPS in the game to beneath 30 frames per second, your dashes will recharge in the air. Why? I don't know. Obviously, you can gain literally infinite horizontal distance using dashes at this frame rate. Yes, clipping happens when you dash into a climbable wall as you hit a death plane. This gives a glitched wall climb state to where you can move slowly, almost as if you have no clip enabled in console. Thus the name. This is disallowed because flying through the sky, yeah, totally game breaking as a glitch. Alright, this is actually a fun one. In Doom Hunter Base, if you dash into this crusher as it crushes you, you gain massive speed, about 4 times regular movement. This speed boost is permanent until you reload checkpoint or complete the mission. Yeah, this speed boost would make all previous movement tech basically trivial, so we don't allow it in most categories. Fun fact, if you do this trick successfully 13 times in a row, you are going faster than the speed of light. The IDKFA Glitch allows 2 weapon mods to be equipped at the same time. This is done by getting the IDKFA cheat code and art complex. Then, from the main menu, if you enter a level with the IDKFA glitch enabled, you have all the weapon mods. Menu clip the weapon mod you don't have in the menu, exit, return to the campaign, and then swap weapon mods. This will give you a weapon with properties of both attachments. This is most notably effective on the heavy cannon, to where you have micro missiles firing precision bolt shots, highly outclassing any other source of DPS. This trivializes all the nifty chainsaw routing and precise combat people that most people love in this run. Wait. This is literally cheating. Why is it allowed? Well, it's complicated. This is an inbuilt feature of the game. All you have to do is access it from a menu after grabbing a cheat code. So, because it's so simple to do, the game allows you to do it, why not allow it in speedruns? It allows showcase of a really busted glitch that melts bosses in seconds, but technically a cheat, so we only allow it in the most unrestricted categories. If you've seen a speedrun of Doom 2016, you've probably heard of this, rail boosting. When Doom Guy jumps on a rail, physics screws up for whatever reason, and you go flying. This has to deal with the interaction of Doom Guy on a very thin surface, and useful ones usually require precise setups. However, the amount of speed one can get with this can regularly skip you to the end of the level. As you can picture, very powerful. Zipping is an effect from the interaction of a sloped surface and the Doom Guy dashing. This interaction causes a sudden burst of downward momentum, causing the player to bounce off geometry and seemingly teleport with high velocity. Most things require a precise lineup for use of it, and the trick isn't used much due to the next trick on this list. The main trick of Doom Eternal speedrunning is by far slope boosting. It's the most broken glitch in the game. Slope boosting is the result of a jumping interaction with a sloped surface. Simple, right? Well, the game has a plane on each standable surface that decides whether you do a single jump or double jump. Turns out, for sloped surfaces and also ledges, the plane extends a bit further down. This is meant to help with platforming in the game. Normally, your double jump would replace the vertical velocity of your single jump. However, single jumps stack vertical speed. So, if you spam multiple jump inputs over a slope or ledge, you'll gain the speed from each jump input when you are in the plane. So, more inputs are obtained by binding the scroll wheel to jump, more inputs are obtained by slowing down time using the weapon wheel, and yeah, gets out of control real quick. In any percent unrestricted, this dominates nearly every level. And that's it, folks. This is just the tip of what wacky glitches and strats can be done in Doom Eternal. I highly recommend you check out the link in the description for the Doom Eternal strat doc, where nearly every strat is there for you to check out and have a video demonstration of it too. Big shoutouts to Bryo, Sylar, Bloodshot, Bowser, and all the other strat finders in the community, as well as Drake Foes for making a handy documentation for all these strats the community uses. Unlike Doom 2016, where levels were typically colored by... were colored. Yeah, color. Not covered, colored. I color these walls.